Hello, everyone. I'm Eric D'Souza, and joining me today is New York Times bestselling author Shari Lapena. Her novel, Not a Happy Family, published by Doubleday Canada, has been shortlisted for the Crime Writers of Canada's Awards of Excellence for the Best Crime Novel, sponsored by Rakuten Kobo. Welcome, Shari. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You just told me that your power just got restored, so I'm glad it
hmm
worked out.
Yeah, we've been out of power for 4 days living on a generator, but it's pretty common out here in the country.
I have to admit, I feel a little foolish because I haven't yet read your book. It's not unique in the sense that I've just interviewed 20 people and haven't gotten through half of them yet. But after reading your blurb and listening to the sample I heard about Not a Happy Family, I had to say to myself, how have I not read this book yet? So if there's anyone else out there like me, what could you tell us about your book?
Well, it's a whodunit. It's about a family, a very wealthy family in upstate New York. There's an older couple, Fred and Sheila Merton, and Fred is like a self-made millionaire businessman, but he's also a closet psychopath. And he and his wife have raised this family of three children who are now grown up adults with partners. And they all get together for this Easter Sunday dinner. And it's a very tense event, and all sorts of feelings are hurt and bombshells are dropped. And then right after Easter dinner, everyone goes home. And later that night, somebody breaks into the house and murders the Fred and Sheila Merton very brutally. And then, of course, the investigation is all about who killed these wealthy people. And the three siblings, of course, are the prime suspects. And it's sort of a whodunit and a really complicated family dynamic. And I'm looking at siblings primarily and how the siblings interact with each other and who might have done it. So the siblings are the prime suspects, but there's also some other suspects, and it's a very tangled, very dysfunctional family dynamic. There's a nanny in there who actually raised the kids, and there's an aunt who has been cut out of the will. And anyway, it's these kids stand to inherit an awful lot of money. So of course, there's a lot of suspicion about them, and they all have great motives for wanting to kill their parents, not just financial ones. So it's a fun, entertaining read about kids raised by a psychopath, and possibly have the same psychopathic taint their father has, or maybe they've just been brought up by a psychopath. We don't know, but they all have that potential of doing this kind of an act. So it's a fun book. I mean, if you like that kind of thing, which I do.
Yes, I guess fun is relevant.
Yeah.
In the crime world, yes, that is fun.
Yeah.
Um, I could be wrong about this, but I thought perhaps the story was inspired by some actual events in um, Toronto, Unsolved Mysteries. I don't want to say it because I don't want to give it away too much, but am I right? Were you inspired by a true story, or was this complete?
Not specifically. I mean, I know the case you're referring to, and it's a fascinating case. But mostly, I wanted to get away from just looking at married couples, which I tend to focus on intimate relationships, and I wanted to look at a bigger family, and I wanted to look at adult siblings in particular, because siblings carry all sorts of things from like very young childhood, and all sorts of resentments and memories and false memories and so on. So, in competition and things. So I wanted to look at adult siblings, and to do that, I needed to have a murder. And I thought murdering the wealthy parents and having the millions up for grabs would make for a really interesting sibling dynamic. So, not really inspired by any true stories, but I get a lot of ideas just from what's in the atmosphere, and yeah, it's there's quite a few cases where children have killed their parents. And I do find them quite interesting. I always find family murders interesting, whether it's the kids killing the parents killing the children, whatever. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, it's true. As mystery writers, our brains work a little different than some other people, and what we consider
Yes.
fun. It's not
Yeah.
always what everybody else considers fun. But every once in a
Mhm.
while, you see something gruesome, and you have those "what if" moments.
Yes, exactly. What if moments?
Um, now, I've had the privilege of interviewing many authors, and I found a little trend that two types of careers seem to make good writers. Obviously, it's not always true, but
Mhm.
those who have worked in law enforcement, either police officers, excuse me, police officers or lawyers, make good crime writers, and English teachers in general can write any genre. It doesn't have to be crime. Reading on your bio, I see that you've been both a lawyer and an English teacher.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? Did your past occupations help you in your writing career?
Oh, that's interesting. No, that's very generous to teachers. I think there are many really great crime writers who started off as lawyers, and I could name, like, there's, John Grisham, there's presumed innocent Scott Turow, Steve Kavanaugh, because, if they have that background in criminal law, then they can use that to great effect. Now, unfortunately, I didn't do any criminal law. I did civil law, which is really boring, which is why I got out of it. So it didn't really have any, and it didn't help me any, I don't think, in writing. Being an English teacher, it's just, I love literature and I love books and reading and writing. So, but honestly, I don't think that helped me either. I think writers just want to write, and it doesn't really matter what you come from. I mean, I think if you're in law enforcement or a criminal lawyer, that's great. But for me, I don't think any of those things really mattered. I think what mattered was I'd always wanted to be a writer, and I just wanted to do it, and I did it. And I think that's, I think you can come from any walk of life and become a successful writer.
You're saying that you're drawn to writing, but were you drawn specifically to crime writing, or is there like a little fantasy of yours to maybe dabble in some other genres? Or are you sticking to crime?
Yeah, I didn't start with crime. I've always read a lot of crime, and I always watch the crime shows on Netflix. That's my go-to. But I started off writing comedy, and I think that's because, well, I know it's because I couldn't plot. I didn't know how to plot or outline a novel, so I just started writing freestyle one day, and I came up with a sort of a funny novel that I published. I had a couple of novels published with a small press in Canada, literary novels that were funny. And I guess that gave me confidence, because I'd always wanted to write a thriller, and I couldn't plot. So I couldn't plot ahead. I just made it up as I went along. And I thought thrillers, had to be plotted ahead, because I didn't know any crime writers. I didn't know that some of them don't actually plan ahead. A lot of them do, of course. So I just thought, well, I'll try to write a thriller, and I'll approach it the same way I approached my literary novels, although plot didn't matter so much in those. So I wasn't very confident that I could do it. But, it worked out. I turned out to be a pretty good plotter. The thing with me is I just have to plot by the seat of my pants. I can't think of it ahead of time. So yeah, so plot scared me off writing thrillers for a long time, but it seems to be my natural genre. It's what I like doing the best.
Yeah, I think the lingo often is plotter versus pantser, flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, even though you have these really complex stories, you're still pantsing it?
I have to, because I simply cannot come up with a plot on an empty page. I wish I could. I've never been able to do it. I think I work much harder in revisions than people do who have plotted their book out beforehand, because I have to restructure and all this stuff. But I don't think of anything. I can't think of where the book's going until I know the characters, and I can't get to know the characters until I have them in their situation. And then to me, it's all very organic, and the characters grow as the plot grows, and it just plots itself in a way, which makes it sound easier than it is. It's not, I find the first draft writing quite easy, and then after that, I work quite hard. So I think everyone has their own way, and I think if I could plan ahead, I know my editors would be happier, and I think it would be easier, but it just would take it. I just can't do it. I've tried. I have tried to sit down and do a chart with sticky notes and tried to plan out a novel, but I just stall. I can't think of anything that might happen.
Wow, so that's you in character development. Like, you decided
Yeah, like my characters,
you just go.
yeah, they develop as I write them. I don't do lists of what they're like, or their likes and dislikes, or what they look like, and nothing like that. I just go by how they act in a situation.
Wow, I'm amazed at how you can do it.
I am too.
Any upcoming novels then that we should be waiting for?
I've got one. I just hit the end on my 7th one this afternoon. So I'm sending it off to my editor. Still lots of work to do on the book, let me say, and it's not out until July 2023. But I've done the lion's share of the work on that one, so that's nice. So I do have another one out, but not this summer. It'll be the following summer.
Yeah, it's pretty common, right? Every 2 years or so. Is
I usually
that your
do.
pace?
I usually do a book a year, and
Oh,
I've done 6 in 6 years, and then I've always been right up to the deadline, and we don't have much time to do any promotion or anything. So I asked for a year off, and I got my year off, and then I started writing anyway. So now I have a book done early, so I'm nine months ahead of the game, just like Linwood. So I know you interviewed Linwood recently, and
yes.
I've always envied Linwood because he always has his books done a year ahead. And I thought, I want to be like Linwood, get them done
Yeah.
early.
I think you
So
have a great quote from him on the cover of one of your, is it this one or one of your earlier ones?
I've had him on a couple books. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he says Queen of the Ones That Read.
Queen of the Ones
Yeah,
That
which
Read.
is
That's
yeah,
what got me.
which is nice coming from Linwood because he's pretty much a ones that read too.
Yes, definitely. Well, you're in my reading list for this summer. I've already ordered your book. Sometimes I order them after talking to people. In your case, you
Fair
got it
enough.
already.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy the summer read. Good luck. We're not going to have to wait too much longer. The awards ceremony is tomorrow. And
Mhm.
hopefully we'll talk again.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.